Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another early access video of the new Sims Business and Hobbies expansion pack. Once again, a massive thank you to the EA Creator Network for providing me with early access to this pack. I've loved exploring it, as you may know from the previous videos on this pack. But today, as you may be able to tell from the title, we're doing another build. If you saw yesterday's video where I did a starter build on this new pack, then you'll know that there's some brilliant build buy that comes with this pack. Even when I explored the pack for the first time and I did a full layout of everything that came with build buy, it's so good. It is literally so good. And in this new pack, we're getting a little kind of candy machine. And with that candy machine, when your sim gets a high enough, is it cooking or baking skill? Can't remember, but you can make all sorts of things like lollipops, candy floss, jelly beans, so many good candy things. So I thought, why don't we go ahead and make a candy store? And since we can now have the option to do residential, business, like employee only area, public, we can have a live-in business lot now. So I thought, why don't we build a live-in business candy store? Because I love sweets. Question for everyone, what is your favorite sweet? Now, I'm not talking chocolate, I'm talking like sweet, whether it's like a jelly sweet or, you know, strawberry pencils. I've had to think about this and I used to love a strawberry pencil, not a strawberry lace, a strawberry pencil. I also really love a milk bottle, which I don't know if that's just a UK thing, but we used to always get them in like convenience stores here. So I would say maybe a milk bottle, although I do love a strawberry, you know, those jelly strawberry things. Let me know in the comment section below what your favorite sweet is. And this is my build with the house on the top. The candy store is that pink building, the bottom floor of that pink building. And I wanted to have like a separate access point for the house. So in the middle of these buildings, on the left is an artificial debug building. In the middle is like the stairs that lead up to the house that the family will live in, and then downstairs we've got the candy shop. I've got my cup of tea as well, so make sure if you're watching this you've got yourself a nice hot drink, whether it is cup of tea, hot chocolate, coffee, whatever floats your boat. But with this, I've just been loving using the new build stuff. There's like I used to build all the time, and this new lease of life has come from me when it comes to building. And like I said in the previous video, if you watch that, my starter home, I wasn't 100%, I wasn't comfortable at all, to be honest, building in this new world. Because if you know me, you know that when I do build, they're not like, I would say my favorite style of house to build is maybe like a cottage. I also kind of like building a pretty sort of basic suburban home as well. So trying to fit into this Nordic world, because what's the town called? Is it Nordhaven or something? It's a Nordic world. So we're talking, you know, like Sweden, Norway, those types of countries where I've only ever been to Sweden. But I'm not going to lie, when I was there, I didn't take in a lot of the architecture. I looked at the buildings, but I didn't take it in. When I look at a cottage in real life and I'm somewhere where there's cottages, I think in my head, I'm like, oh, I'd love to build that in Sims. Like, we've got cottage living, so I'd love to build that in Sims. I didn't do that in Sweden because this style of build, this whole kind of terraced, just this Nordic style of the buildings isn't my cup of tea, she says. It's not something I'm comfortable with, and I've been honest about that. I've said that even in the previous video. So it's been fun, I would say. I think sometimes it's good to get out of your comfort zone and do a build that is different and isn't one that maybe you're used to. And I am pretty happy with how the build's turned out. As I have said in my previous videos, this is of course early access, so I only at the moment have access to the brand new Business and Hobbies expansion pack along with base game. I am someone that likes to use a lot of packs in my build, so when you have this extra challenge of being restricted to only 2 packs, I mean 1 pack essentially, base game and 1 pack, it's hard. It is really, really hard. So I am really proud of how this build turned out. I have used a lot of the new build buy. I tried anyway to use more of the new Business and Hobbies build buy so that you lot could see it all in action as well. I've also just realised the wall in the kitchen did cut into the window, but do you know what? It's fine. You live and you learn. I was too invested in the build to even notice that at the time, but I'm really excited to put this build into action and properly play with it as well, and play test it with a family, because I've not run a candy store yet. I have ran a daycare and I have ran a hotel, which was more like a hostel. If you've watched that video, then you'll know, but check that one out. I've ran those successfully, really well. I also tried dabbling in a little bit of the tattoo and the pottery making businesses in the first look when I did my first video on this pack. But I've not tried running a candy store yet. But there's going to be so many possibilities. The possibilities, I keep saying it, but the possibilities are endless. You lot are going to know exactly what I'm going to say next. The possibilities are endless with this pack, and that's what I love about it. That's exactly what I love about it, is that anybody can take this pack, regardless of how many Sims packs you have, and you can make it into whatever. You can run a business with whatever. The skills that your Sims are good at, the things that they enjoy doing, you can monetize and you can turn it into this lucrative business that I just think is so cool. I think it's a brilliant idea for a pack. I look back at a lot of my legacy challenges and I'm like, oh, this pack would have been perfect for so-and-so's generation. Like, we had to use a mod for a live-in vet clinic in my Sims in Bloom challenge once. We also had one of my Sims trying to like run a dance class, like an actual dance studio. You could have done this with this pack. Like, so many opportunities. My current generation in Sims in Bloom, she technically runs like a farm shop from her house. Again, I've had to use a mod for it, but she owns her own farm shop that is attached to her house. And it's literally like I predicted this pack coming, because it couldn't have come at a better time, because we are still on that generation. I've tried not to play it as much and put a bit of a pause on it so that I can actually utilize this pack for her gen. You know, it'll be the perfect gen to test it out on, right? But I'm pretty happy with how the candy store turned out. When it came to the actual house that, you know, is above the store, I wanted to make it 2 stories. I've noticed looking around the actual world that a lot of these kinds of houses are like 2, if not 3 stories high. So I feel like it would look odd if you had just a 1-story house here in this world. It just doesn't sort of seem right. It wouldn't fit in. So we've gone for 3 stories. So the actual house slash the candy store is 3 stories. And then the stairs that lead up to the house is 2 stories. And I've meshed it all together with a debug building on the left as well, just to make it look like it fits into the world a little bit more. And I love debug. If you're not using debug in your builds, it is an inexpensive way to just add detail and define your builds a lot more. It's so good, it's so handy. This building on the left I didn't even have to pay for, and I just think it adds so much more. It makes the build look a bit more real, you know, and like it just fits in perfectly with the world. And now when it comes to the house, we've gone for a 2-bathroom, 2-bedroom house. I'd probably be honest, if I'd made it a bit more squishy, made this downstairs bathroom a little bit smaller, probably could have made it a 3-bedroom house. If you do download this, of course, I will try and get it up onto the gallery from the early access game into my proper game. I'll try and sort that out. But if you do download it, you could always turn it into a 3-bed house. You could edit it in whatever way you can. But, you know, if I'd made the bedrooms a bit smaller or whatever, if I'd utilised space a bit better, then I could have made it into 3-bedroom and it could have been for a bigger family. But I'm happy with how it is. Like, I'm happy with what I've done with it. I ended up going for 2 double bedrooms rather than like a double bedroom as the primary bedroom and then like a children's bedroom. Like, I could have done bunk beds. I did 2 double bedrooms because sometimes, well, a lot of the time what I do when I'm building is I try and picture the people, the Sims that are going to live there. And I think with this, I kind of envisioned the family, or if somebody is running a store, they're probably not really going to have a massive amount of time maybe for kids. They might, you never know. I'm kind of generalizing here, but I thought perhaps what we could do is it's a family, maybe a couple and their teenage child. And maybe their child is grown up, maybe they're a teenager, maybe they're an adult that still lives at home, maybe they are an adult and they help out with the family business as well. So that, to be honest with you, was kind of what I envisioned for this particular build. I thought this candy store maybe has been in their family for generations, and you know, a couple and their teenage son or teenage daughter lives here with them. That's a bit of a backstory as to why there's 2 double beds. When it comes to the downstairs as well, I really was loving using the new base game counters. I kind of forgot that we had them, so I've kind of gone a bit base game counter mad. So even in the build, the starter home build that I did yesterday, whipped out those counters. Why not? It's great. And of course I wanted to make it homey. Like, I wanted to make the house be homey as well, and like a bit of an escape. I think having where you work literally be downstairs, so your house is up here and you're in the same building as, I guess, where you're working. I wanted there to be some sort of a bit of a divide where, you know, they can come here, this is their sanctuary. I wanted it to be cozy, homey, comfortable, and just a nice place for them to get away and escape from work. Like when I used to live at my parents' house and I would do my content creation, I used to sleep often in this exact same room as to where I was working, and often it kind of feels like you can't get away. Now I'm very lucky in the place that I rent with my boyfriend. I'm very lucky that this is my office and my bedroom is next door, so it's a lot better mindset to be able to have a different space to work as opposed to where you sleep. So that was kind of my mind here when I was building this. Like, you know, they're in the same building, the candy store is downstairs, the house is upstairs, and I wanted it to be this kind of cozy home that was welcoming and that they felt comfortable being in, and somewhere for them to call theirs as well. I had no budget with this build, so unlike my starter home, there was no set strict budget. I kind of just like winged it, and it felt good to not have the restriction of money, and I'm really happy with what I did with it, and I think it fits in well. I think it suits being in a Nordic city. Let me know what you think though down in the comment section below. Let me know, of course, if you like the build. Would it be something that you would put into your game? Are you going to try running a candy store? What kind of businesses are you going to do with this pack? I am intrigued to know. I am desperate to know what kind of vibe people are thinking, what level we're on. Are people running, I don't know, vampire woohoo businesses or wolf nightclubs? I don't know. There's so many different options. There's so many things that you could do, that you can take this in any way that you want. Go down any path, go down any route. Let me know what you're going to do in the comment section below. Of course, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it and if you like the build. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. And also, you can use my EA creator code if you are going to be picking up this pack. If you're planning to pre-order it, please use EA creator code Tazkabaz, as it would support me as a creator. And thank you again to the EA Creator Network for providing me with early access to this pack. And I can't wait for you all to get your hands on it as well. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Look after yourselves and I will see you next time. Take care. Taz out.